I'm Mackie Gallagher. I'm from Salisbury, North Carolina. It's about right in the middle between Winston and Charlotte, 45 minutes from each.
Hey, my name's Jared York. I was born in Rome, Georgia, grew up in Tampa, Florida. Then I moved to Crossville, Tennessee, and then ever since then I've lived in Wilmington, North Carolina.
It's a country town. We pretty much got a movie theater and a cookout. That's the only two hangout spots in my hometown. But other than that, it's been a good town. It's a small town feel, but then like I said, we're right near Charlotte. So
When I was younger, I didn't quite understand maybe like the reason behind having to move that much, but as I got older, I really started to enjoy like the change of scenery and getting to like experience different parts of the country and whatnot.
And I do have a father. He passed away when I was 16. And then my mom, who's a light in my life. My mom, I love my mom. She's a retired teacher. She retired last December after 32 years of teaching elementary school, and she's the biggest supporter I have in my life, and she's the perfect mother I could have asked for.
I have two brothers, Alex and Taylor. Alex is married to his wife Laura, and Taylor just graduated college. So.
My mom has taught me be yourself, do what you want to do, no matter how young you are. You know, in middle school, high school, you have a lot of people trying to tell you what to do, or that's the cool thing to wear, that's the cool thing to say. But after high school, she said it's just going to be you, and to an extent, she's been completely right. She said, do whatever makes you happy. And that's what I've been doing, and that's where I'm going with my career, and I'm very happy she told me those words, because I don't know if I'll be here today if I never heard that from her.
Alex is a graphic designer. That's what I'm majoring in right now.
Okay.
Artistically speaking, like I've been really influenced by him, and Taylor on the same aspect in terms of music, because that's something that we all share, and he's been a huge influence.
I think people initially view me as annoying.
Probably pretty quiet at first. I like to think I'm extroverted, but in the same sense, like I'm not the most outgoing person.
I never really meet people in class until we do something outside of class. And I remember in one of my classes, we went down to Charlotte and visited WBTV and toured there. And I drove, and there were 5 other students in my car. I offered to drive. And when I first got into the car, we're just having small talk, just trying to get to know each other because I only knew their names. And I said, I'm really sorry if I'm annoying because I talk so much in class. I'm a talker. I have to talk. I have to talk to stay awake. I want to talk to live. Talking is what I do. And I said, I'm sorry if I annoy y'all for talking so much. And they said, no, it's actually pretty cool. And I'm like, so I guess I think I'm being annoying. But I think other people view me as outgoing. People tell me I am. And don't get me wrong, there are sometimes I am too annoying or I'm too loud. But I mean, you can't be perfect all the time.
It'll maybe take a bit of time to get me to open up to some people. I would like to think people think I'm pretty positive. That's something that I always try and do. I don't like to come off as like a pessimist or just negative in general, because that's something that I try and like avoid.
Yes, eventually I want to be a sports broadcaster. Now there's more money in actual play-by-play broadcasting, whether it's TV or radio. But if I had to do one thing and not have to worry about money, it would be public address announcing. I love that. If for those of you who don't know what PA announcing is, it's when you go to a stadium or an arena, the voice you hear over the speakers, that's the public address announcer. And that's how I actually got into this industry. The first game I announced was junior year of high school. It was my high school baseball team. And I just started yelling into the mic, and it sounded good. People liked it, and they kept on telling me to. I got that little bit of a dopamine rush when they're telling me I'm good. I'm like, oh, I want to keep doing it. And then it transferred into me doing every sport senior year. Then I got a couple jobs at some local radio stations. And then I originally came up here to be a criminal justice major. And when I got accepted to the school and I filled out all my registration stuff, that was listed as my major. But then when I came up here and I saw the radio station, I saw how involved students can get with App State, in particular athletics, because I want to go towards sports in my career. I changed it to electronic media broadcasting because I knew right then and there that's what I wanted to do with my life.
I recently joined AIGA, which is a graphic design club, and I also work for UREC as a publicity programmer, and my role there entails like a lot of design practice. I make a bi-monthly publication for Club Sports. It's Club Sports Illustrated. You should check it out.
Cool.
That's pretty dope. But that has definitely been a great resume builder, and it's been great experience that I'm really glad to have under my belt. And it's funny, when I first came here, I was kind of hesitant to jump into graphic design. And looking back, I'm not sure what finally clicked and what took me to like make that change. I just don't think I was maybe confident enough in my abilities, but once I started taking those intro classes and it really opened my mind to like what design is and what it can be, I was definitely on board, and I knew that's what I wanted to do.
The scheduling, there's no 9 to 5, no matter what reporting you do, whether it's sports broadcasting, whether it's news, anything at a radio or TV station. You can work holidays. I've called I remember I called games for a Christmas tournament, which is a basketball tournament put on in my home county, Rowan County at Catawba College, where every local high school just compete, and I've announced those games, and that happens on Christmas. And also, like, probably just time. There are some days even working at WASU when it comes to my other job at Chick-fil-A, school, and then WASU, and now the Grizzlies. Sometimes I'm not getting home until 10:30, then I still have 2 hours of homework to do. So that's definitely been the biggest challenge is time, but that's definitely helped my time management skills this year as well.
Limitations, okay. I think the field right now is really saturated. I think in the art department, I mean, like here at App State, I think it's like the biggest major for anybody who's in the art department. And with the increase of technology, there's like, sure, there are endless ways for people to be designing and like putting that type of material out there, but the field has become really saturated. So I think distinguishing myself from others and making my work, you know, recognizable and different.
I would say the pace of the business. I always try to go up in broadcasting, whether it's I'm doing PA for a high school team. Okay, next year I want to do it for a summer league team. After that, a minor league team. And they are all progressively getting faster and faster. Now, WASU so far and the Grizzlies especially have been the fastest sports broadcasting jobs I've had. And sometimes I struggle keeping up, but I always manage to. And I'm kind of anxious about the speed of the real world. Once I graduate and get that degree, when I get a real job at a big TV station, I want to go to a big market. I want to live the city life. I'm eyeing Boston. I'm trying to get on Sports Talk up in Boston. I've been trying to apply for jobs up there.
I think the mark of a good designer is being able to work within the limitations with which they're presented and push every single limitation to its like maximum like capability.
If there was no limitations set on it, definitely PA announcer for the Charlotte Hornets.
Right now, I think it would be environmental graphic design and communications.
What made me fall in love with PA basketball was Lainey Gosnell, a player on the women's basketball team here at App, hit back-to-back threes within the last 30 seconds to tie the game. And after every three, I just gradually got louder when I'm hyping her up, like, Lainey, and like carried it out and everything. And the lights were like flickering on and on, fans were getting loud, and that's when I knew if I could PA a sport, it would be basketball. And I would love to do the Charlotte Hornets. That's my favorite basketball team. I know the PA announcer for them right now, Big Pat. He's a cool guy. He's helped me out in the past.
So environmental graphics or environmental graphic design is kind of a way of, you know, thinking outside of like the 2D realm of what most people think. For instance, like a project I saw that like really inspired me in that field was this design firm Pentagram in New York did a total renovation of the way that New York City's subway system, like all the visual communication aspects of it, the way those were presented, and anything from like signage to like directions to the subway, spanning across like the entire city. And I was like totally captivated by it, and I thought, wow, I never realized that like I'm not just gonna be making like posters, you know what I mean?
I tell people I would have never pursued something if no one would have told me after the first game I didn't do a good job. because why would I take up a spot? I consider myself a thoughtful person, and if I'm not going to fulfill the role to its entirety, to 100%, I'm not going to take up that spot and prevent someone else who can't do that from getting that opportunity. So if people kept telling me, oh, I like you doing this, I like when you do that, you're doing a good job, so that just fuels me to do better. When someone says, oh, I like when you carry out this word or when you announce that player, I'm going to keep doing it that way and try to add some oomph or gusto onto it. But I think support's 100% biggest thing. Like I said, my mom's one of my huge supporters. I have great friends who have been supporting me nonstop. And then even employers at Chick-fil-A, I got a job announcing for a team because my boss at my Chick-fil-A in my hometown knew the head coach and they needed somebody. So I called a couple games for radio for their baseball team. So it's just knowing people.
Certainly, I think there are times in people's careers where maybe one piece gets recognized on a much larger scale than everything else, and then they sort of blow up and they use that momentum. And that's art. Like, it's opinion. And most of the time people feel very strongly about it. So others' opinion, to a degree, is important. I would think in terms of, your long-term career and like how you develop over that time. But I wouldn't rely on it. There's a clear distinction between like maybe people that I've seen in terms of how far they allowed themselves to go.
Okay.
I feel like the biggest limitation there would maybe be like a mental restraint that they have.
Well, I think I could reach anything. This is going to sound narcissistic and cocky, but from the past, I think I can reach anything I put my mind to it. I have. Last summer when I went to get that PA job for the minor league team. The minor league team before this year was the biggest thing that's happened in my career. I said, I'm going to go out and apply for this job and audition. And my brother was just like, it's minor league team, Mackie. It's not West Rowan High School or Rowan County American Legion. But I went and auditioned and I got the call back the next day and I got the job. And I think if I just keep working on my craft, I think anybody can do what they want. You just got to know the right people. That's a big one. Networking, you got to know who you're working with. You got to know who can help you out. But other than that, I really do think I can get up there.
And the more I think about it, your role as a designer is essentially to, work with your client about what they want, but you have to convince them why your design works and why this is the solution that they should opt to use. And obviously there's like a conversation there and it goes back and forth and you make changes. But if you're not confident in your work and you're not able to talk about it comfortably with other people, then that's going to be your biggest problem. Like, certainly I think you have to believe in yourself in order to make it in that type of industry, because otherwise people will just cut you down.
You have to keep your perceptions real, while at the same time you have to dream, because there's this quote from Modern Family to where it says, dreamers need realists so they don't soar too high, but without dreamers, realists will never get off the ground. So you have to find that medium in that spectrum, because if you don't have the perception that you're good at something, then you're not ever going to be good at that, because you have to believe in yourself. And it took me 3 years to believe in myself in broadcasting, to where, like I said, I'm not trying to sound selfish, but I know friends who can't do what I do. But then the friends who can't do what I do, I call them when I need help with my car, because I don't know anything with my car. So you just have to believe in your skills, because it all starts right here, because if you don't believe in yourself, then no one will. People will believe in you after they see you believing in yourself.
I personally haven't, in my mind, put any limitations on or restrictions on where this will take me. Who knows? I mean, the industry is always rapidly changing. Like, new forms of technology change everything, like, especially in that line of work. And there's so many different mediums to work in and so many different types of work that I can't say where I'll be maybe 20 years from now. It may be doing something I never would have thought I would do. But as long as I'm designing stuff, I think I'll be happy.
Anywhere I can be behind a mic to help better my craft, because I'm nowhere near perfect, I will do it. So anytime someone comes up to me with an offer, whether it's paid or not, I will say yes.
That's been really cool learning about design is, as a designer, my role isn't necessarily to like go out there and put all of my creative ideas into action, but it's to take somebody else's problem, look at the stipulations around it, and design within those parameters to make something that is functional and aesthetically pleasing.
But and you also have to have a good personality. You got to treat people with respect. There's some people that I don't think they know how they're coming off to someone. I don't think I worded that correctly. But you have to know how to treat someone. You got to be very respectful, especially in this business, because this business, you're working with people every day. It's not just you, it's a team, and you got to learn how to work with a team.
So would you say that perception is perhaps one of the biggest factors in making or breaking your career?
Perception, yeah, because
like others' perception, your perception.
my perception.
Do you think that at times people are their own worst enemy when it comes to perception?
Oh, definitely. With me, it took me a few years to get this, and this helped me in my career. I always got hung up on the mistakes I made. No matter what, if I messed up brutally, like to where it's an obvious mistake and someone calls me out on it, it's like, dang, Mackie, what happened there? I let that get to my head too much. I would let that ruin the rest of the broadcast, or not the rest of it, but a good bit after it, because I'm so caught up on that mistake. You have to know when to let go. You just have to keep moving on, because if you perceive everything as negative, you're never gonna do anything positive.
Dude, killed it.